Welcome, everybody, to episode 12 of the Fairway Heaters Talking Golf podcast. I'm your host, Connor Smith. And, we got a little different show today. We have a guest co-host, Pierce Eichinger, all the way from Colorado. Pierce is a plus handicap. He played golf at the University of Colorado and Colorado State. He recently just shot, the course record up in Vail. Welcome to the show, Pierce. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Excited to be here. Some exciting golf was played over the weekend, and we saw from Morcal as well.
Yeah. Also, we have Cole the Caddy. Cole the Caddy's here with us. Cole, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. It was good. We talked to Mallory Pugh, or we can get to later for that interview. That was fun. I'm glad Pierce is here. A lot of our listeners might not know, but Pierce is about 5'4" in height, so he does have little man syndrome. So,
we do have a pretty big interview today. United States women's national team superstar Mallory Pugh came on the podcast. Great interview. So happy she came on. But first, we got to recap our golf trip from last weekend. As I said on the last episode, we went to Sky Valley, Georgia. Pierce was actually there. Pierce is on the winning team. Pierce, you kind of want to talk about your round and how you wheeled a championship out of what seemed to be a couple of misfits in you.
Yeah, I was the former champion coming in. I was showed up one time. I have one career victory, so 100% success rate. And, I didn't think the family was too happy with that. So they paired me with a team that had no business winning this thing. We had a girl that maybe made contact about 30% of the time. We have a future LPGA star on our team, but she's very raw. Mm-hmm. And then we had one other individual who was about a 20 handicap playing in a scramble. So they definitely didn't want us to shine through. But unfortunately, when you get the proper amount of high noons in your body and just the right amount of sunshine, good things happen.
Yeah. So Pierce and I actually won the year before, and there was a lot of speculation about us being on the same team. So this year they really tried to screw Pierce and put him on a bad team, but he ended up getting a little intoxicated and shooting 64 on your own ball.
Yeah, it was just a good go of it.
Yeah. So Cole, how are you doing down in Tampa, man? I haven't seen you in about 2 weeks almost.
Yeah, no, I'm holding down the fort here in Tampa. Really nothing new. I'm home alone, so I've just been going on long walks on the beach and enjoying myself down here. Playing a lot of hockey. We'll see. There has been a lot of hockey.
Good. I like to hear that. We got the expansion draft tomorrow. Cole, are you? Who do you think the Coyotes are gonna let walk?
Well, yeah, as a Coyotes fan, I am hoping that Seattle takes Christian Fisher, which a lot of our listeners might not know, but he's on the Coyotes and he's Joe Buck's daughter's boyfriend. And I hate him, to be frank. He's really bad for us. There's not much that he contributes, and a lot of people hate Joe Buck. So maybe the Joe Buck haters can get behind me and hoping that we get rid of him.
Yeah, well, there was a pretty big golf tournament this past weekend, the Open Championship over at Royal St. George, right? And the Great Britain area. And Colin Morikawa, first start at the Open, first win. Pierce, what do you got on Colin?
A great player, obviously. Wasn't my first pick to win it, which honestly, I don't really know why he wasn't. He's known for being a great ball striker. He's been working on his putting pretty hard. And, just very impressed to see a two-time major winner at such a young age. I believe he's second to Tiger for the youngest of two majors.
Mm-hmm. 425.
Yeah. Very impressive golf. Exciting to watch. Very clutch down the stretch. Not surprised Louis choked, honestly. He doesn't seem like he ever wants to win. He just likes cashing checks. And Morikawa just very clutch. And Spieth made a nice little run of it too, honestly.
Yeah, Spieth was there at the end. Those two bogeys on Saturday really just messed him up. But back to Morikawa, his first 50 PGA Tour events, 5 wins, 2 majors, 4 top 10s, a boatload of top 20s, and a nice little $14 million earned so far in his career. Not too shabby, if you ask me.
Yeah, unbelievable, honestly. And that's only the beginning for him, obviously, and obviously a lot more of endorsement money coming on the side. Very well respected kid, never has really gotten in any trouble, and seems like the sky's the limit for him.
Yeah. So Cole, if to practice for your aspiring tour caddy life that you want, what would you have said to Colin on AT&T box, 2-shot lead for a major championship? What are you telling your player?
Well, I'm just telling him, keep doing the same, keep doing what you're doing. Don't change anything. Just it's just another hole. I don't know. Maybe that can be my catchphrase here is pull the caddy. It's just another hole. I don't know.
Just another hole. Pucks on, or balls on green, ball in hole.
Balls on green, balls in hole. Yeah.
Yeah. So another guy that played very well this weekend was John Rahm, and this year, he has T5 at the Masters, T8 at the PGA, won the US Open, T3 at the Open this week. His game's really started to form going into the Olympics this next month. And Pierce, you played with him in college or against him in college. What are some things that you noticed, like just in college from John Rahm?
Yeah, obviously he's a slight bit older than I was, but when I played at CU, he was in the Pac-12 at Arizona State. But yeah, I mean, obviously was a great college player as well. Well known for pretty much everything he does today. Just drives it great, makes a lot of putts, and just played at a great program. Arizona State throughout my college years was always just a great top tier program. They've got a lot of players that turned pro, and the dude just did everything he did now, just not quite at as high of a level, but you knew he was going to be that good. He was always up top of the leaderboards.
Did you see that interview with him where he talked about his what's it called? The pigeon toe?
Yeah, on his leg, and that's why he's got a short backswing or something.
Yeah, his right leg is a couple centimeters shorter than his left, so he can't really rotate all the way around and get through it. I thought that was actually crazy. And then he had something like he has inflexible wrist or something. Just a really unique guy with a very unique swing that obviously works. And
unique swing and unique build. I mean, God, the guy's a little doughboy, but seems like it works out great.
Yeah, he hits the ball pretty far. Did you happen to see Kevin Kisner's final round?
Yeah, 2.5 hours or something ridiculous. Yeah, Kisner showing up for his fans, doing exactly what he likes doing.
Exactly. Shows up 2.5 hours, shoots 2 under in open conditions on a Sunday. The guy is a absolute wizard of just a human being, and such a Kevin Kisner thing to do on a Sunday at the the Open. Show up. Cole, do you know who Kevin Kisner is?
Yeah, I've heard of him. Yeah.
Oh my God. So I like to always compare Pierce to Kevin Kisner because Pierce is our Kevin Kisner, where he likes to, booze a little bit on the course and just shoot ridiculous scores out there. How do you feel about that comparison, Pierce?
Honestly, that's probably one of the better names I've ever been called in my life. Typically, they're demoralizing, especially from Mr. Yotes over here, which is, by the way, I'm going to get in it as a failing franchise, so they really could get rid of anyone and it would probably help the franchise.
Disagree.
But with that being said, yeah, I mean, Kiz he's a classic. He's had some of the best one-liners we've ever seen in golf. He's brought a lot of humor into it, plays fast, doesn't take it too seriously. And boy, I hope to see him, get near the top of the leaderboards again, start playing some good golf.
Yeah, I mean, that guy, when he's in contention, is so electric. He can make any putt, almost like you guys have the same putter, so makes sense.
Makes sense, yeah.
But did you see the Tyrrell Hatton video this weekend?
No.
So he's notorious for giving also just incredible quotes on the golf course, talking to his ball, asking his caddy how bad he is. So this week he like freaked the fuck out on the course and just snapped his 4-iron like over his leg and just threw it. And it just adds he just adds a different level. Like that's what golf needs, are guys like that who fucking come out there and aren't afraid to show emotion and just snap a club here and there, because everyone's felt that before in their life. And I just love the fact that he does it on the course during a major.
Yeah, I think it's great. I think they need to have. I mean, a lot of those European guys are big personalities, and that's honestly I love. I love watching the Open mostly when it has shitty weather, just because I love seeing people fall apart and just seeing some of the raw reactions of those guys. Because on the PGA Tour, I feel like they're more reserved than they are over there.
Yeah.
Overseas, they definitely got a little bit of humor, and they've got. I mean, they always post little clips and vlogs and stuff through the European Tour that are always hilarious to watch too. So yeah, it's always a highlight seeing Terrell give a good blow up here and there, but player as well, fun to watch.
Yeah, you mentioned the weather. The weather this week at the Open just wasn't normal what it used to be. We saw these low scores, and it was kind of, I don't know if this was like your first Open to tune into as a golf fan. You're getting into golf, you kind of didn't get the full experience because there was no day where like people were literally rain jackets, umbrellas, just shitty weather, and that was kind of disappointing.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, definitely was disappointing. I think when you get kind of that weather, especially, I mean, it takes half the field out of it immediately just because they hit one bad shot and they're just miserable out there.
Exactly.
So makes it a little less fun to watch, because I mean, I like tuning in and watching these guys just get demolished while I'm sitting on my couch, nice and warm, drinking beer and shit.
Mm-hmm.
But you know how it works. I'm sure next year it'll be in the middle of a monsoon and they'll trick out the golf course so 4 over wins it.
Exactly. Pierce and I are really good. We like to roast the PGA Tour players from our couches, but both of us have no business being out there with them.
No.
And I think that's probably our best quality together. Is we can give it, but we're nowhere near being able to go out there and show our faces. But going into, I feel like every week this is a thing. This Bryson DeChambeau, Brooks Koepka. Kevin, he couldn't be here today because he's just really busy with his family right now, and we respect that. And he thinks this is all a sham, the Bryson versus Brooks stuff. What's your opinion about it, Pierce?
In the beginning, I did think it was kind of goofy, but as I see Brooks's reactions and shit, I actually think he just really hates him. He really doesn't like Bryson. And to Bryson's defense, I actually enjoy watching Bryson, not because he's weird as shit. I just like how he plays. I mean, it's very entertaining watching a guy go up there and swing out of his ass and try to put on weight to play golf, because you've never heard of that shit before.
Exactly.
So I love watching him play. I hate watching him putt and hit wedges and shit. I mean, it makes me want to throw up. It's just everything about it's ugly.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I don't know. I think it's healthy between the two of them, because I think Brooksy, after his his major runs, his head was getting a little inflated too. He was starting to feel himself, and I think it's good, healthy, fucking fun to just watch these two guys who are probably at their prime of their careers right now, just going at each other for really no reason.
Exactly. I totally agree with you. And I don't know if you guys saw the clips over the weekend, but the first day, Bryson was bitching in the media about how he literally was just like, this driver sucks, and he was blaming like the technology of the face of the Cobra driver. And then he had JT come out and say, something along the lines of, it's really hard to hit the center of the club face and you're swinging 135 miles per hour. And I just think Brooks responded so funny. He was just like, I hit the driver great today. I love my driver.
Yeah.
And just like little jabs like that I think make golf fun. It's making it fun. And I know it's very, what are your thoughts, Pierce, about the whole Bryson, shitting on Cobra's driver thing?
Oh, I think it's ridiculous. I don't know if you guys have watched it, but he's kind of started doing a little bit of a YouTube channel and some of that stuff. And just when they go behind the scenes, especially with Cobra, and they show how much work they put in for him, how many sets of clubs they do, and everything about what he does is just so freaking weird. It's very hard to make stuff like that. And with Bryson being such a nitpick, I mean, I could only imagine that working for him would just be a real pain in the ass.
I mean, his caddy just quit on him.
Yeah,
a few
yeah.
years ago.
So with that being said, I mean, not the greatest look for Bryson. I don't think. I mean, if he were to go to any other company, there's no way they give him the amount of time that Cobra and Puma would, just because they got so many other guys on staff. So I think for him to kind of shit on his own turf is kind of a rookie mistake, and I think he regret it for sure. But the last thing you want to do is kind of piss off the guys that put all the time into their clubs, and especially when they go over and above for you. Because if I was them, it certainly wouldn't make me want to work that hard anymore.
Dude, 100. I couldn't agree more. Cole, what are your thoughts about bitching about equipment at the highest level?
Well, as an aspiring caddy, part of my job is, taking care of that equipment. So obviously I got to, back my equipment guys, that are, putting in the time and effort, to customize that, for Bryson. Now saying that, I do like how he is kind of jacked. Is he jacked, or is he a little bit, does he have the dad bod?
No,
Like
he's
big
pretty
arms? I don't know.
built. He's not lean, but he's definitely strong as shit. Yeah,
He's bulky. He's a big bulky guy.
I like that. I kind of like that. Maybe we should get more of that in golf.
So are you on the weight gaining train, muscle strengthening train for golf, Cole?
Yeah, absolutely. Take some mass gainers, some creatine, some maybe anabolic steroids. I don't know. Try some shit. See if it works.
What, Cole? What as an aspiring tour caddy, what would you tell your golfer? Maybe if he looked like Pierce.
Yeah, I would say steroids. Ever heard of them? Might want to get in the gym, do some curls. Maybe start, eating more meat. And
I'm sure you know all about that, Cole.
Well, that's that. But what I do know is if Pierce, put on 40, 50 pounds, he's about 125 now. So, could only be beneficial.
So Cole, you're all about the muscle mass gaining for the golf swing. Our co-host normally is Kevin, and he's been doing a lot of working out and fitness stuff on his journey towards this goal of his to play in the 2020 US Open at Pinehurst #2. Cole, as the fitness guru of our podcast, what do you think Kevin needs to change? If when he listens to this, he can take some advice from you on how to get the swing and all of his body in motion correctly towards his goal.
Well, I don't know. I think maybe switching it up from just going on those long walks all the time. To be honest, I'm worried about the longevity of his joints. I mean, his ankles have a hard enough time supporting that big frame. So, I don't know. Maybe mixing in. I don't know. Maybe some core, maybe some sit-ups, push-ups, stuff like that. Those walks at his age, especially, are gonna, put some mileage on you.
Do you suggest him going to like a yoga studio or maybe Pilates? Like, do you think that would benefit his career?
Absolutely. But it was that one course where he did do he was doing some cat cows.
At the Die Preserve. Yeah, he was doing the stretches.
Could use more of that. Yeah, absolutely.
Honestly, yes. I think the best thing Kevin could do, especially for his mental state, one, get rid of that hat he wears that looks like Bryson's. That thing's terrible. Yeah. Two, in the quest for this US Open, I think the greatest thing he could ever do is hang his clubs up for 2 weeks and then probably quit. Because this just is not going to happen, boys. And I think it's kind of like telling your friends they're not good SoundCloud rappers. I think we just got to be bluntly honest with them and just say, hey, Kevin, you got to pick another hobby here, because this golf thing just might not be working out.
And we've talked about it before. I think one of the biggest issues with Kevin's golf game right now is, he does have a pretty decent move through the golf ball, but his clubs are from 1995. And there's no way, with the advance in technology, you want to talk about Bryson getting all the technology, there's no way that we need someone to sponsor our guy and give him some new irons, fit him for a driver. He has this metallic 3-wood or 5-wood from like 2000 that he hits money. Don't touch that. His putter sounds like a chain, like, you like throw something out of chainmail fence. That's what it sounds like.
It sounds like it was 3D printed literally out of Kroger brand IKEA shit.
Yeah, it's like a little like way below the Kirkland Select putters.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the biggest thing for him is he needs to start with some new equipment.
I've got
And
some good connections over at Power Built Golf. And I think that's just the perfect name to sponsor Kevin, because, he's just built like a freight train. So I
yeah,
think that'd be a great fitting for him.
yeah, he's a brick shit house.
Yeah.
We miss him on the show today, but it must go on.
Yeah.
Now, saying that Friday is the opening ceremonies for the Olympics. I mentioned on last episode who's all participating for the United States. And Pierce, do you want to give the listeners some gambling favorites? Who do you like, at the Olympics, and who do you think can bring home the gold, silver, and bronze?
Honestly, I haven't looked up the course. I haven't looked up any of that kind of stuff. Don't know how it's playing. I don't know if
Are
you
they
guys have.
playing? Are they playing where I think they might be playing where that Zorro Classic is.
The Zozo.
Yeah, the Zozo.
If they were, yeah, not an overwhelmingly long golf course, just going to come down to some good iron play. Some sleeper picks that I think you guys probably need to look at. I think the two fellows representing South Korea, I think they're playing in the Olympics, because if they don't medal, they've got to go into combat this year. So I think those would
Right.
be two great sleeper picks, because they basically got their life on the line right now. So,
Yeah, so it's
but you get some great odds on those.
So it's being played at the Kasumi. I can't pronounce this.
Good luck.
Kasumigaski Country Club. Don't know what that means. But yeah, we talked about it actually on last episode, Pierce. Sung J M and Siwoo Kim are. I mean, if they don't, they have to medal to skip their military service.
Right.
And I don't know. We talked about it. We don't know what. It's a 2-year commitment, but do you think it's kind of like what your brother's doing right now, where like he gets thrown from the bottom, or like is it?
I think it's probably just generic basic training, some sort of training, just to make sure you know how to do the most generic stuff. I don't think it's very intense, deep stuff. It happened in the past. I know there was another golfer. I believe it probably was from South Korea, like 6 or 7 years ago, who had the same thing, and they got drafted in to do whatever for a little service. I believe the same thing happened to Yao Ming. Isn't that why he ended his career early?
I'm not sure about that. Cole the Caddy, can you Google that for us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
not super sure how it works, but obviously not very familiar with the South Korean Army. With that being said, I'd be very shocked if they're drafting guys from the golf world to be elite soldiers. I bet you it's some generic training that they're doing.
Right. Yeah. So you like the Koreans, the South Koreans?
I think that'd be a great one. Obviously, Morikawa. I think you got to pick guys that want to be there. I think there's been like a weird little vibe that a lot of guys don't want to be there. I mean, I don't know if you guys heard Rory over the weekend when he was basically asking about, when he was interviewed about the Olympics. He doesn't seem too hyped about it. You see a lot of guys opting out, especially with COVID and all that kind of stuff. So I think you want to go for a young buck that's excited, that's new to the scene, and really just wants to get a medal, because I mean, it's obviously golf's very new to the Olympics still.
Yeah. So I talked about it, last episode. Tiger obviously not being able to participate in the Olympics, but that was something he always talked about because no one else really has a medal.
Right.
But I think a guy from the United States that I feel that is going to do really well at the Olympics is Justin Thomas. And the reason I think is because that's something Tiger doesn't have, and they have that great relationship, that great bond between each other. I think Justin winning that medal at the Olympics is just something he'll probably always have that Tiger doesn't have.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think that's very good motivation for him and something to look out for. But I mean, also, John Rahm's playing so good right now. I don't see why he couldn't medal. Colin Morikawa obviously is playing good. A guy like Xander, I think could medal for the United States. But it's just gonna be fun, man. Did you watch the Olympic golf last time at all?
I did. Yeah, I did.
So what's like? Can you kind of explain to the listeners kind of like what the format is, how they do it, and how everything shakes out to
from what I remember, I mean, obviously, I think it came down to Justin Rose, Cooch, and I don't even remember who was the other guy. Do you remember who was the third medalist?
I think Cooch was the one, or
Rosie obviously won.
Cooch got bronze, I thought.
Yeah,
No, maybe he
there
got silver.
was one other guy. I don't remember who he was.
Oh, let me look right here. Oh, it was
Some guy from Belgium or something.
no, Henrik Stenson.
Oh yeah, it's Stenson. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
So basically, I mean, obviously, as we all know, it's a lot first Olympics that golf was ever in, or maybe in a long time, and maybe used to be in the Olympics. Not sure.
Right.
But it's just like every other golf tournament, honestly. From what I remember, it's just 4 rounds of stroke play.
Oh, is it? It's not match play?
That's what I thought it was. Yeah, I thought it was just 4 rounds of stroke play. It'd be kind of cool if they changed it up and did like a little Dell Technologies match play, maybe.
Yeah, I
Do a
think
stroke
that
play
was
into the seating. But
kind of like the USAM.
Yeah, you just kind of get the top 64 and then go into match play. But yeah, it's just a 72 hole individual stroke play event, just like every other golf tournament.
That's kind of. I didn't watch it last time, but that's kind of disappointing. That's like that, honestly.
Yeah, I think so too. And I don't know. I think it's going to be weird for the guys, especially coming from the PGA Tour, that are playing in it, because obviously they've implemented fans back, and I don't think there's any fans remotely allowed on the golf course at all. I don't even think you can bring. You can only bring like a caddy and a swing coach. They're limiting pretty much everything you can bring as well.
Yeah, no, there's no fans in the venues at all for the Olympics either, or maybe very limited. But I was reading today that they had like 70 positive COVID tests, and they're not ruling out like a last minute cancellation. I'm like, I don't like all most of these people are vaccinated. Like that's what you're required to be in the Olympics. And they, people have been training their whole life for this. Like,
right.
I mean, if you're healthy, good to go, like go. That's my opinion about it. I don't know about how you guys feel, but it's just a shame that, it's different for golfers because in basketball players and even soccer players, but like a lot of these athletes, this is their time right now. The Olympics, gymnastics, track and field, like all those sports, it's like this is their time now. And that'd be such a shitty situation if the whole thing got canceled. But hopefully it doesn't.
Cool, Cat, you got anything to say, bud?
Yeah, no, I agree.
Good stuff.
Would like to throw out that Yao Ming did not end his career because he had military service. I don't know if you want a 7'6" guy serving military. I don't know. There's probably something they could find for him, but he ended his career due to ankle issues. So.
Okay.
Oh, thanks for giving us that fact 30 minutes after we were done talking about the military service.
Well, I looked it up and then I started reading about his life. He also owns a winery in Napa, California.
Can you give us a little book report about Yao Ming's life real quick?
Yeah, he used to ride his bicycle to Shanghai Sharks games. That's how he fell in love with basketball. And then 15 years later, he would play for the Shanghai Sharks before coming overseas.
Whose best player, by the way, was definitely Jimmer Fredette.
Yeah, maybe Stephon Marbury. Didn't he play for them? Remember him?
Dude, Stephon Marbury is like the Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, all wrapped into one over in China. They have like a statue of him. Like this guy was like a pretty good NBA player, and then goes over to China, and he's treated like a god over there. Like I'm pretty sure he's like bigger than Kobe was in China. Like this guy's incredible.
Is Hideki playing in the Olympics? Do we know?
Yeah, he is.
He is.
Yeah,
he's got to be a fan favorite for sure over there, and probably
I know that kind of dude. That would be so cool to play in the Olympics in your hometown, like with all the nation on top of you watching. But obviously,
especially after his major performance, a big breakthrough for them. He could definitely make the golf world go nuts over there. So that'd be a good guy to look out for. Seems like holds pressure very well. Doesn't really get too scared of it.
Yeah, but it'd just be so cool if they let fans into the venue to watch him. Like that would be a cool scene. This literally, I bet you the whole nation of Japan would just be watching him and no one else.
Right.
Yeah, but that's a shame. Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't really think about that.
Yeah, that'd be good to look for.
Yeah, that's.
But I think you're spot on with JT actually. As I think about it more, I mean, that guy just loves bleeding red, white, and blue. Obviously,
Yeah.
loves playing in Ryder Cup.
He did his
playing in
President's
President's
performance.
Cup, everything. I mean, he loves, absolutely loves the pressure, loves representing the U.S. and honestly, it hasn't been on his peak game lately. So this would be a nice thing for him to kind of turn around his game.
Yeah, 100%. I totally agree. One last thing. Pierce and I are playing golf tomorrow morning with our first ever interview, Jake Sayano and our buddy Drew. Pierce, what do you expect tomorrow from the round? What are we looking for?
Some good quality golf. I mean, we know Pro is probably going to show up in some really short, tight shorts, which is going to be kind of distracting.
Yeah.
He's going to be hitting the long ball. And Drewbo, you never know, he's a wild card. I've been playing some great golf as of late.
I mean, he's carded like 4 scores under 85.
Yeah, it seems like his game has definitely been peaking in the right direction. So I think it's been a very warm summer here in Denver. Had a little bit of rain lately. Courses are in great shape. So I think we're going to look for some good quality golf. I mean, if it starts out slow, obviously we're just going to have to break into a couple cocktails, get some swing oil in there, and I think we're just going to see a lot of deep drives and probably shitty puttings. We're not the group's probably not the greatest putting group I've ever seen.
Well, I think 2 of us are pretty good putters. The other 2 are, they have a bad reputation with the putting. But yeah, we're playing Columbine Country Club here in Denver, Colorado. Excited to go back. I haven't played it in over a year, since October, so almost over a year. But Cole the caddy, he has a big hockey game tonight, Tuesday nights for hockey. Cole, why don't you run the listeners through a pregame routine of your night after work? What do you do to get ready for your men's league games?
To get ready for my men's league game, obviously you gotta have the pregame nap. I do that right after work. Then I gotta turn on something motivational. You usually watch the movie Miracle, beginning to end, which is takes up a good 2 hours of the pregame. And then usually go back, watch the speech scene again when Herb Brooks gives that speech to the boys at the they play Russia, Soviet, before I guess that was the semifinal game. But yeah, other than that, just staying hydrated during the day, eating healthy.
You retape your stick for the game? You got fresh tape on there?
There's always fresh tape, Pierce. Yeah.
White or black tape?
Well, you go white, and then if you struggle, you got to switch it up, go to black. I've been a mental midget lately, been changing it from black and white, because I've been struggling to score, and I'm open to admitting that. But
when I used to struggle scoring, I think the key to success, especially after watching some good hockey, I think you just got to get your net guard and turn it backwards, and really have the net guard facing backwards, and then that really kind of eases the nerves and breaks the ice a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so Cole, you said you've been struggling with goal scoring. How do you turn that around tonight? What do you got to do tonight to be better for your team, score goals, get points on the board?
I think just get plenty of shots. I don't know if I've been shooting quite enough. Not necessarily, pass to my teammates. Don't worry about them. Put myself first. Be a lot more selfish. I think that's the key.
Yeah, I think that, but we're going to transition into our interview right now. She is a United States women's national team superstar. Her name's Mallory Pugh. She is not a selfish teammate like you, Cole. It was an incredible interview. Cole and I did it together, and I think it's time to go to Mal. Welcome to the Fairway Heaters Talking Golf podcast. Mallory Pugh. Mal, how are you?
I'm great. That was a lot. That was a good recap.
Yeah, you have a lot of milestones in your life, and I just wanted to make sure that we captured at least some of them, right?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. So first question.
Milestones.
Yeah. First question right off the bat. I think this is a question that a lot of people want to know the answer to, Mal. When you're out in public, who is more famous, you or Dansby?
That's a good question. It depends where we are. If we are in the state of Georgia, I think everyone knows Dansby, and I would probably say Dansby. Honestly, anywhere in the South, I'd probably say Dansby.
Okay, so 10 states out of the 50, Dansby,
Yeah.
40 Mount. Okay, we can live with that.
I do have to say, I have a funny story about that. Can I
Let's
tell
hear it. Of course you can tell it. What do you mean?
So when I was in DC playing, this was probably like 3 years ago. I was just like, I forget how this conversation came up, but basically I was just like shitting on Dansby. I was like, oh, you're not cool. Like I was like joking, but like kind of being serious.
Yeah.
And then we were at like this ice cream place, and these people came up to him. It was like, they were like amazed that he was in DC, and they're like, oh my gosh, can we please get a picture? And it literally like 10 minutes before I was like shitting on him.
Yeah, just to give the listeners a little backstory, Mallory is dating the starting shortstop for the Atlanta Braves, Dansby Swanson. So, we like to compare who's more famous sometimes, because it's a good good little comparison. But going back to the interview here, how did you get introduced to the sport of soccer at a young age? And was it the only sport you played growing up?
No, it wasn't the only sport I played. I did basketball until I was like in 8th grade, and then I ran track in like 7th grade and 6th grade for fun. But I basically just started because my sister was playing, and my parents just kind of threw me into it, and then it just kind of took off from there.
Yeah. So growing up, when did you kind of first realize that you were, kind of a little bit more gifted maybe than the rest of your teammates, or and you knew that, soccer could be a legit career path for you?
I think when I was probably, I don't remember like a specific time or like an age that I was like, this is like what I want to do, but it was just like kind of always something in me that I was just like, I want to be on the national team. I want to be a professional soccer player. And it was just something that was always in the back of my mind, and I just kind of worked towards.
Yeah. So when did you kind of get the first, because the soccer is pretty confusing, I feel like, here in the United States. But when did you kind of get that first glimpse of like, the United States national program is reaching out to you and they want you to be a part of their system or their, youth?
So yeah, soccer is very confusing, which I never thought it was confusing.
Yeah.
Until I like was dating Dansby, and he was like, this is so confusing and backwards.
Right.
But so basically, like with soccer, you just get almost like scouted at like a young age. And I think for me, it was when I was 11 or 12 at a tournament called the Manchester United Cup in Portland, which was like the best tournament growing up. But so I got scouted there, and then you're just basically like on the youth teams,
Right.
the national teams, along with your club team until you essentially just make it to the senior national team. And I think now there's every age group, there's a national team. But when I was going through it, it was like U11, or no, it wasn't U11. It was like U12 girls national team, and then it was like U14, U15, U17, U20.
Right.
So yeah, that's kind of like a short summary of kind of how it works.
Right. And you guys I don't know how it works nowadays, but back then you guys were getting recruited like very young, it feels like, compared to most other sports like football and basketball and everything. Like they get recruited like kind of like their sophomore, junior year, where it's like you guys are kind of getting recruited like 8th grade, freshman, sophomore year. You got to commit, right?
Yes, it's like, I don't know how it is now, but it was like so young. People were like committing to a college when they were a freshman.
Yeah.
I committed to UCLA when I was like my summer sophomore year. So I was going into my junior year, and that was like considered late.
Right. Yeah, because I remember everyone, all of our friends growing up were just committing sophomore year, and it was just so crazy because you guys kind of like had to make that decision so early, and that must have been. But what led you to choosing UCLA over, I mean, almost every school in the nation, I'm sure you had an offer from.
Yeah, I think for me, at the time, I just like loved LA. I loved California, and we would always travel there for soccer. So it was just like it was an easy flight, and I was like kind of familiar with like the area.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think too, just like the campus, the school, and obviously like their women's program was pretty legendary. So yeah, I knew I wanted to be on the West Coast.
Right.
I was like young, and again, I was like familiar with that. And I feel like the school is just like, it's kind of just like a legendary school. So
yeah. And so the listeners kind of get a little insight about you. You actually left UCLA early. For people who don't know, Mal is a college dropout. She did not graduate. But what kind of led to that decision? Was it a hard one? Did you think about it a lot, or was it kind of just like, I'm good enough to go pro, like fuck this, I don't want to do school?
Right. I think for me I think it was a mixture of things. I wanted to like challenge myself,
Mm-hmm.
and I needed to put myself in a more competitive environment to be able to like reach the goals that I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And then two, I think so I went to UCLA for like 3 months, the winter quarter. I know, which is crazy. Hey, but I have a lot of credits, surprisingly, and I passed all my classes, so shout out.
Hey, straight A student.
No, they were not A's. Difficult. But at the time too, like I was trying to balance like college, basically like schoolwork, which is way different than like high school schoolwork.
Yeah.
And the national team.
Right.
And I really just wanted to solely focus on soccer, and like work on my craft, and not really have to worry about other things. And it's not that I don't value like education, but I think at the time I just wanted to work on soccer. And I think too, I grew up in such a different way.
Right.
You could say.
Right. So when you got that first national team call, like talk about that moment for us, and like what was that like?
Oh gosh.
Don't cry.
So no. So I remember it was in December of 2015.
Mm-hmm.
And it was right after we just qualified for the World Cup, the U20 team. So I was on the youth national team then. And then basically I got Jill Ellis was the coach at the time, and she just told me that I was going into January camp, and I was I think the first like thing that went through my head was like, okay, like I need to make sure I'm like prepared and like
Mm-hmm.
ready for this.
Right.
So, and then I think the more that month went on, the more like I was like thinking about the nerves and everything. But it was nice because when I first got there, I like knew some familiar faces,
Mm-hmm.
like Lindsay and Rose, because I was basically on a youth national team with them too. So
Right.
I was able to kind of like meet up with them again, and they were able to like help me through that camp because that wasn't their first camp.
Yeah.
They've been there.
Yeah. Who was the first person you called when you got called up?
Um, I don't honestly, back then it was, they would like email our parents.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I think they would email us, but like my parents obviously like knew because they would like send like the camp national team camp invites
Hmm.
through email. So like my parents knew. So like I didn't have to call them or anything. Um, but I don't even remember like where I was. I think I was home. I don't know. I don't remember.
Oh, wow. That's a pretty big moment in your life to
It
not
is.
remember Mallory. Um, are you a flopper?
No, but there is a video of me flopping pretty bad.
Really?
Yes.
From when?
It was, I think it was in 2014, our U20 World Cup, and we were playing Germany, and it was in like the top of the 18.
Oh, I think I remember this.
Yeah. And the girl, like, it looks like she pushed me, but she didn't. Like, no one touched me, but there were like 4 defenders around me,
Mhm.
and my calves cramped so bad.
Oh, yeah.
That it literally looks like I got shot, and people were like thinking and then people were thinking that I flopped. And I remember at the time Vine was like a really big,
Yeah.
and it was like going around on Vine. And obviously back then I was like, I didn't know how to like deal with stuff like
Social
going
media.
viral.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I was like, oh my gosh, like people are gonna think I'm a flopper. Like I cared so much, but
That's so funny. I remember that
yeah,
game. That was so fucking funny. Uh, have you ever got a red card?
no, not
You've
for
never got a that honestly, I don't want to be that guy, but that's pretty fucking soft.
No, I just don't. I feel like usually I'm the one that's getting fouled.
Well, yeah,
I
but
will, I will foul. Like I
can
have
you stick up?
definitely gotten feisty.
It's more of like you got to stick up for your teammates. As hockey being one of my favorite sports, there's enforcers out there, and I guess you are the skill player, so you'll probably have more enforcers. But you got to stick up for your teammates sometimes. You got to show them. You got to show them, hey, a red card's okay. You got to
No,
set. You got to set
that's
the
a
tone.
little. I feel like that's a little. That's just like not me. Like I'm not one to like retaliate really. Like I don't
Okay.
know.
So
It,
no red cards in your
and
career.
and if we get a red card, we have to miss the next game, and I would be very upset if I had to miss a game.
Yeah, that's fair. Um, so for people who don't know, Mal's a very she's very bad at driving vehicles, one would say, maybe. Have you improved since the last time we've driven together?
Well, one, I'm not bad at driving. I'm just, I would, I would say I'm more on the aggressive side of driving. That doesn't make me bad.
That's fair. That's fair.
Um, but no, I haven't improved.
Okay.
It's bad,
Well,
and especially here in Chicago with all the one ways, it's getting
oh
confusing. And
my.
if you turn down the wrong way, it's not good.
Yeah, a couple of Christmases ago, I tried to get everyone to pool money in for a chauffeur for the rest of your career, but
Yeah,
no one else wanted to
I mean that
donate.
would have been nice. But yeah, no, I definitely have not gotten better because, but it depends on what you think better is.
Yeah, it's okay to be aggressive sometimes.
Yeah.
So, we talked about your endorsements a little bit, at Nike, Gatorade, and the list goes on. I don't think I've ever asked you this myself, but what's it like filming a commercial? Like, is it weird? Are you there all day? Like,
Yeah,
do you
you're
actually
there.
like what do you do?
Yeah, you're there all day. It is it's crazy. It really like made me like appreciate movies and like
Right.
TV shows more
Uh-huh.
because for commercials it's like literally like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And if that, like, it's not a long shot, but you are there all day. Like it's like an 8 to 10 hour day. And you basically just have to do what they tell you to do. But also I feel like every brand or that I've worked with, they've been like they obviously are like, here's the script and here's what we want to follow, but like you can add your own like personality and your own like touch to things, which I think is really cool, because I definitely think there's other brands that don't do that, and it's just like, this is you're the athlete and this is what we want you to do. But
you're right.
I have to say, with Nike and Gatorade, they've both been great with me and like being able to like express myself.
That's cool. That's very cool.
But it's a long process.
Long process. Do you just go to like a random field and they kind of just?
Yeah. And there's a lot of people there. Like,
really?
Yes. Like 50 people.
Just for that
behind
one?
the scenes.
Jeepers.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's wild.
So Cole the Caddy, he's our intern on the show. He is an aspiring PGA Tour caddy, and we give him the opportunity to ask our guests a question only once during the interview. Cole, do you want to go ahead and ask your question?
Yeah. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you, buddy.
Yeah, Mallory, first off, I think we actually crossed paths New Year's Eve 2019. I don't know if you remember me from that party that year.
I don't think so.
Oh, that's awkward.
I don't know. There was a lot of people there.
Oh,
well, I
God.
tell my friends that was one of the best nights of my life. So I'll try not to. Yeah, I'll try not to. I'll change the details.
There was a lot of people and like drinks involved.
Oh my God!
It was New Year's Eve.
Cole the Caddy getting snubbed on the Fairway Heaters podcast.
Yeah, I'm getting fleeced in front of the listeners. Well, some more embarrassment for me might be coming. Of all the single.
Back up.
What?
2019 New Year's. What did we do that year?
Downtown.
That's when.
Oh,
That's when.
You don't have to say anything. I got it.
Well, I was gonna say that's when you, me, and Dansby were really fed up with the bar crawl, so we just said, "Fuck it, let's get a table."
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Great night.
Yeah, good night. I left my phone in the club. I didn't get it until 3 days later. It was sick.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Got it.
Yeah. Anyway, so the question I have is, do I realistically have a shot with any of the single girls on Team USA?
Yeah, I think you do.
Which ones?
I just need to figure out.
Well, who's single? Give me some single teammates.
Honestly, not a lot.
Oh.
Like, are you talking like the older girls?
Really?
Well, anyone. I mean, anyone's single. If you're single, you're single. So, I don't know. Maybe we could do like a Fairway Heaters Bachelorette content piece. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I need to see who's like still single, but there's not a lot. Like most everyone is taken. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
no, we'll keep that in mind for maybe a future content piece, like Cole said, a Fairway Heaters times U.S. national team Bachelorette.
Yeah.
Or Bachelor, right? Would be the Bachelor?
Bachelor.
Would that be the Bachelor? Yeah, because Cole's the Bachelor. Yeah.
I would be the Bachelor, and they would. Yeah.
Wait, that's a kind of a good idea. You should do that.
Yeah. Well, we need you to help us out because I can't just call up the national.
You should do like all like single. That would be such a good idea. Like do like a sporting. Like.
Did we just come up with a new TV show? All three of us?
Better not. Maybe we should keep this quiet.
No, we gotta put this out there. This could be our break. Right here.
I feel like that would be a good.
Okay, we're copywriting it. I don't know if that's legal, but we're copywriting it on the Zoom. We just copyright it. It's ours. All right. The Sports Bachelor. I like it. All right. What? Jesus, moving forward in the interview. Thanks, Cold Caddy, for your question. What so far, like, what was your most memorable experience playing for the national team?
Well, I feel like there's a few. I think obviously winning the World Cup.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
That was really fun and cool. We were on the road forever. Lots of hard work went into it. And finally it paid off. And then I think to just like the movement that we kind of started.
Yeah.
With that, just for women's soccer, I think was probably the best part of it all. And then leading up to the World Cup, we played in Denver.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like April or May or something. And I scored 2 goals that day. And so I think that, and one of the goals was just like something that I've been working on for a while with one of my club coaches. So that was just like pretty special to be able to like be in your hometown and
Right.
with your friends and family there. And you're playing one of the best teams in the world. We were playing Australia at the time.
Right.
And just to be able to get on the field and do that, it was really special to me.
Yeah, that's definitely cool. I remember watching that. I think, Cole, did you have another question about the United States?
Well, yeah. So another quick question here, and this can be for, I guess, Team USA again. But who is the glue girl in the locker room? Who's the morale? Like I don't know, in hockey, you know, you got the guy. I played hockey. You got the guy who gets the boys going. Who is that in the locker room?
Who is that? I would definitely say, I feel like there's a mixture. I think Crystal Dunn, she plays the music and she always plays.
Oh, Oxcord guy.
Yeah, great music. I feel like Sonnet is usually just like an overall, just like funny person.
Would you say she's the funniest girl on the team?
Yeah.
Emily Sonnet? Okay.
Yeah, she's hilarious. But I don't know who's like the person that like hypes everyone up. I feel like there's like a mixture of people.
Was there?
I was going to say, what are you guys listening to pregame, music wise? Is it EDM, rap, or everything? Yeah. Country?
No.
Oh,
okay.
Okay, that's good.
No, that's probably for the best.
Yeah.
No country.
Yeah, no country. When you first got called up to the team, like, was there anyone you were kind of like in awe of? Like, you're just like, wow, like I'm in the same locker room as this person?
I mean, I feel like all of like the older girls, like the veterans, I would say probably like Carly was definitely one. Alex, Tobin. I feel like those 3, I was definitely in like, oh my gosh. And it wasn't necessarily on the field, but it was more so like in like our meal room.
Yeah.
What am I doing here?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
What was the Olympic experience like? You know, what was the village like? Do you have any cool like village stories that you can share on here for the listeners?
Yeah. So when we were in the Olympics, we never went to the village.
Really?
Yeah, because soccer, so for the Olympics, soccer usually starts like a couple days before the opening ceremonies. Mm-hmm. So it usually like, we're usually like in a different city, and then you travel around to other cities. So yeah, we were never in like the actual like village, which kind of sucks because I feel like that would have changed my like Olympic experience a little bit.
100%.
But it was cool. I mean, it's the Olympics and you get to say you're an Olympian. That's pretty cool. But
Sure.
I wish we were able to be like in the village and like go and see other events and stuff. Like that would have been amazing.
Yeah. So like compare that to the World Cup. Like what was the Olympic, like, I guess, style of play versus like World
Yeah.
Cup, like that whole, like those two experiences, like what was like the main differences there?
Yeah. So personally, I like the World Cup it's the World Cup, and like that's like
Right.
all eyes are on us. Like
Mhm.
with the Olympics, there's obviously other sports going on, and it's like cool because you're working working towards something with other sports.
Mhm.
But with the World Cup, it's just us, and the Olympics is definitely faster. Like we were there for a while, but for the World Cup, it's like it's a long tournament.
Right.
Especially if you obviously go to the final.
Mhm.
And I mean, you want to win obviously everything you can and be successful with everything. So, but winning a World Cup is like I would probably say every soccer player's dream.
Yeah, for sure. What's it like? Because I mean, the common American doesn't really can't really understand this, but like, what's it like playing against teams that like communicate in a different language?
Um, it's really not. It's not weird or different. Um, and that's the thing I love about soccer is like you can like communicate through the game,
Mhm.
um, and like your actions and like how you like point and different stuff, and like different movements. Like that's the thing I love about soccer is like it is like such a universal game and like everyone can like pick up on it. And I think that's why they call it the beautiful game, is because it's universal to everyone, and you don't really, but it is weird sometimes like hearing other languages because like I have no idea what they're saying.
Yeah, I always thought like, because normally everyone speaks English, so like it's kind of, I always thought it was like kind of an unfair advantage to us in a way, because like they can understand us, but we can't understand them on the
Right.
field.
There's like something like, but they're only saying like the same thing, like ball or here
Right, right,
or pass.
right.
And so like you pick up on like those a little bit, but I feel like you're not really paying that much attention to it.
Yeah. So would you say that, your most memorable like goals, I guess, were here in Denver in front of everyone versus Australia?
Yeah.
Is it okay? Can I tell my most memorable Mallory Pugh story?
Yeah.
I'm gonna embarrass you.
Oh gosh.
Is it okay? It's a
Yeah.
soccer story. Okay, I'm telling it. So I went and watched all my friends play in nationals in Richmond, Virginia in
Yeah.
2014 or 2015. And you guys are up like 1-0, I think, late in the game. And I don't know what happened, but the goalie, I think, misplayed the ball. And my friend here, Mal, had a wide open net.
Yeah. I remember this.
Just airmails it over the crossbar. And then they come back down, this team, they score. And we're like, oh shit. Like, I'm sitting with like all the parents, and the parents are freaking out. It, like, I remember it so vividly. And then 2 minutes later, the team like has a corner kick, and I'll never forget, it went through like 8 people's legs, and some girl just buries it.
Yeah. That was you won't ever let me forget that.
Well, no, it's because you have so many good moments. You have to remember the one bad one.
Yeah. I know my club team growing up, we were very, very good. But we could never win the whole thing.
You guys just you just didn't have enough grit. You'd have
I don't
an
know what would
enforcer
happen in the finals. We'd literally make it to the finals every year
every year.
or kick the ball over the crossbar.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I think you've made up for you got a couple more championships under your belt.
As long as that doesn't happen now, I'm fine with it.
Exactly. So, the last couple of years, I feel like, you kind of got the injury bug a little bit, a couple bad breaks. You seem to be doing very well now. Kind of tell us where you're at with, your injuries and how you feel out there on the field. Because, I feel like you've kind of gotten so many bad breaks, but you've persevered, you pushed through it, and, I couldn't be more proud of you, and, we all couldn't.
Yeah,
but
I think there's definitely been, obviously the past couple of years haven't gone the perfect way that I would have wished, but I think it was like adversity that I needed to go through to be able to, one, grow, and two, learn about myself a little bit more, and like what I can overcome. And yeah, I think injuries suck. They do.
Right. Yeah.
There's like nothing that you can really, there's no way to put it other than they suck. So yeah, all of last year basically injured with different things. I had a hip thing going on, and then an Achilles thing. And then this year, starting in January, I was feeling really, really good going into January camp with the national team. And like one of the first trainings, I pulled my hamstring.
Yeah.
So that sucked. And then I was like, okay, it's not like terrible. Like it's definitely hurt, but it's not terrible. And then like a few weeks later, go back into national team camp, and I tear it again. And this time it was like bad. Like we were looking at like 8 weeks. Probably like minimum. But so I was like able to like come back here to Chicago and rehab and like get healthy and completely like kind of just like figure out like why things were bothering me and just fix them. And I think during that time too, I was able to like learn about myself and kind of have like a reset almost.
Right.
So I really think it was like a blessing in disguise. Going through it was absolutely terrible. And I didn't think I would honestly like ever see the end of it. But I think I was able to get through it and like get back on the field and finally like feel like myself again. Because I probably haven't felt like that in, I don't know, like 2.5 years. So to be able to like have something so bad and something so good come out of it was kind of cool. So yeah, I think now just continue to stay healthy. But yeah, I feel great. I feel good on the field, confident, and just gonna like keep going, just keep moving forward.
Yeah, you had like what, 2 goals the other night, right?
Okay, well, we keep having this own goal thing. Like the golden boot person right now is technically us because we have so many own goals. Our last like 5 goals were own goals.
Against you or for you?
For us.
Oh, okay.
So we're getting in the like, we're creating chances and everything.
Yeah.
And they just, some of them are not own goals though.
Yeah.
They need to get like VAR for this league and review a lot of things.
Yeah, right. So what are kind of like, so your season recently started, right?
Yeah, it started in May.
Yeah, so it
doesn't end until like our last game is like October, the end of October, and then playoffs are in November.
So what are kind of like your goals for this season, personally and like obviously team wise?
Yeah, I think personally just stay healthy.
Mhm.
And then, I mean, this is like so simple and so basic, but it's so true. Is just like have fun and
Right.
enjoy playing soccer because I feel like with so many professional athletes, when that goes out the window, it is like things just, you're not enjoying it. Like, you're like, why am I doing this? It's just not fun. So just like keeping that fun and the love and joy for the game. And then, I mean, I feel like collectively, obviously we want to win everything that we can. We have this tournament little, I forget what it's called, but this tournament that's coming up in August, and we play, it's us, Chicago, Louisville, PSG, and then Bayern.
Really?
Yeah, and it's like us four are like playing. It's just 2 games, which I still don't understand, but it's kind of cool.
That is
because,
cool.
Yeah, we'll be able to play like teams from Europe who are well-known teams and really good and have good players on them, so that'll be good. And then
Yes.
obviously,
Right. So I see a lot of the national players going over to Europe now. Is that something you could see yourself doing in the future?
I don't know. I've gone back and forth with it. I think definitely it would be like a really cool experience.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the leagues over there are just different than the NWSL now. I think the soccer and the style of play is completely different, but I think this league is very competitive.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it would be a really cool experience. I just don't know when and who I would go play for.
Well, obviously Manchester City.
That would be pretty cool.
So when I think it's important that I ask you this question because when I bring a NWSL team to Tampa,
Oh.
can I get you to commit to my team?
Well, when would that be?
We're looking at, our time frame is a little wary right now. I told Peyton she's going to be my general manager, director of football operations. But I have a team name. I want you to. This is public announcement right here. The Tampa Bay Tide.
Okay, that's actually really cool.
Yeah, and we can play.
What would the colors be?
It'd be navy with like a ocean blue.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so Tampa Bay Tide's our team name. I've looked into the lights of signing you as my first prospect. I want the goalie who wears the cool hats on the national team. I think she plays for Orlando now.
Ashlyn?
Yeah. So she's gonna be on the team. I already talked to her. She's in.
Yep.
Who else? Alex Morgan said she'd play.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
What's the girl's name from Denver? Lindsay Oran. She said she would play. I don't know if you talked to her about it.
Yeah, that sounds like a pretty good.
Yeah. So
players you got there.
Right. So our payrolls we pay in crypto.
Okay.
That's a joke. We don't pay in crypto. We're gonna pay you cash under the table. But moving forward, this is a golf podcast. Thank you for your commitment, though. I really appreciate it. Tampa Bay Tide.
I did not commit to anything. I need to see it. I need to see it in writing.
Okay, well, you committed. We'll replay the video. Thank you for your commitment. Just like all your other friends that committed to. Mal, this is a golf podcast usually. We get off topic sometimes, but have you ever swung a golf club?
Yeah.
Are you good? Are you good at golf?
I wouldn't say good, but I wouldn't say bad.
Do you have any videos of you swinging a golf club?
I might.
Yeah, we're gonna need that for future reference.
It's probably like Top Golf, maybe.
That's okay. Who's your favorite golfer of all time?
Uh,
Can you name one?
I don't know. I do not pay attention to golf whatsoever.
You don't have one favorite?
Maybe, is it maybe Tiger Woods?
Yeah, okay. Tiger. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like, isn't he like the best? Well,
Yeah, he's considered the greatest of all time in some regards. Yeah.
okay, who's good right now?
Right now, let's see. We have Colin Morikawa, California kid. He just won a major last week. We have Bryson DeChambeau, Brooks Koepka, Justin Thomas, John Rahm, Xander Schauffele, Dustin Johnson, a bunch of guys you probably have no idea who the fuck they are.
No, I have no clue. I've never heard those people in my life.
You ever heard Brooks Koepka is a big Nike guy? You're a Nike girl. You guys should like DM or something.
I don't
so you can get.
I don't pay attention to anything.
Yeah, that's pretty true. You barely can text me back. Moving forward, are you still vegan?
No. Mm-mm.
Why not?
I think that had to do a lot with my injuries.
Really?
Yeah. So I eat meat again, like chicken and fish. But I would definitely go back vegan. I think now that I like have stuff figured out, I think I would definitely go back. And are you vegan?
No. I remember I told you I tried with you that one time, and I really missed dairy. I'm a big cheese guy.
Yeah.
I could go without meat, but
Really?
yeah, I love cheese like a lot.
I don't know if I could do without sushi though.
Dude, yeah. I didn't even think about that.
I could definitely go without like beef or chicken.
Yeah, yeah. I like fish a lot too. Yeah, that's a good point. So no more Mallory Pugh the vegan. That's breaking news on this podcast. No one knew that, but our listeners. Final two questions here. What is one piece of advice you would give, young athletes who want to be pro one day?
I always say it goes back to my like having fun thing. Like never lose sight of like the why you play and the joy that it brings you. Because the moment, and there's going to be times that as you become a professional that it's just going to happen. Like you're just not going to enjoy it for a little bit. But like when that happens, it's like so important just to like get out of that. And the quicker you can get out of that, the better. So yeah, never lose sight of like the why you do it and the joy and the fun. And I think too, like for me, when I was young, I would always do extra, always. So the more extra work you can do, it's going to pay off. So.
Right. And the final question I have for you today, is the bacon still sizzling?
The bacon's still sizzling.
Yes. Okay.
It will always be sizzling.
Yes.
And if it's not, then you will know something is wrong.
That is a great.
That happened.
That is a great answer. Well, Mal, we thank you so much for giving us your time and coming on the pod, doing a little any. We wish you the best for the rest of the season. We are now a Mallory Pugh podcast. We will be defending your honor for the haters. We will be at your game when you come to Orlando.
Oh yeah, we play. That's our last game of the season.
I know. I already looked it up. I stalked it. Yeah. So, again, thank you for coming on, and good luck the rest of the season.
Thanks.
Again, we just want to thank Mal for coming on the Fairway Heaters Talking Golf podcast. Incredible interview. We are, so happy and fortunate that she came on, talked to us a little soccer, a little golf, a little everything. We wish her the best the rest of the way this season up in Chicago. Hopefully they can bring home a championship. Cole has to run now to his hockey game. Cole,
Big game. Yeah,
big game tonight. We wish you the best, buddy. Go get him. Pierce, you got anything else for us?
No, it's just an honor to be on one of the biggest podcasts and have millions of viewers listen to my voice later this week. So real excited. Hopefully we can get a good match going tomorrow and get some good quality content.
Yeah, so we're gonna do some little content tomorrow. We're probably gonna do a little Pierce and I versus Pro and Drew. And yeah, we'll get some content out your guys' way. Once I get back to Florida, I'll put up on YouTube the Sky Valley trip highlights. This episode will be on YouTube and all the podcast platforms. I thank you guys for listening every week. Make sure you rate us 5 stars, you subscribe, leave good comments or bad comments. Download these episodes, share them with your friends. Go follow us on our social media pages at Fairway Heaters, and then our TikTok page is at Fairway Heaters Golf. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.